Welcome to my channel Old Valuable Chiller. Today we are deep diving into fascinating story. The 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar coin from the United States is a fascinating collectible that continues to capture the attention of coin collectors, history lovers, and investors. This coin, minted in Denver, carries with it both historical significance and numismatic value. In this video, we will explore every detail about the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar, its history, design, specifications, production numbers, interesting facts, and what collectors look for when evaluating the coin today. By the end, you will have a complete understanding of this coin and why it matters in the world of United States currency. The Kennedy half-dollar series was first introduced in 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The coin was intended as a lasting tribute to the 35th President of the United States, and it quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American history. Over the decades, the Kennedy half-dollar has gone through changes in design, composition, and production, but it has always remained a symbol of national pride. The 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar is part of this important series and represents the period of circulation when half-dollars were still struck in large numbers for general use. The obverse of the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar features the familiar portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty arching across the top and the motto "In God We Trust" displayed prominently beneath his chin. The date 1986 is located at the bottom, and the mint mark D for Denver is positioned just below Kennedy's neck. This design has remained relatively unchanged since the coin's introduction, making it instantly recognizable to collectors and the general public alike. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparro, we see the presidential coat of arms, featuring a heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, holding an olive branch in its right talon and arrows in its left talon. A ring of stars surrounds the eagle, symbolizing the states of the Union. Above the eagle's head, we see the words United States of America, and below the eagle, the denomination half-dollar is written. This bold and patriotic design has been admired for decades and continues to stand as one of the most iconic coin reverses in American coinage. In terms of composition, the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar was struck in copper nickel-clad, which means it is made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight of the coin is 11.34 grams, with a diameter of 30.6 millimeters and a reeded edge. Unlike earlier silver half-dollars, which contained 90% silver in 1964 and 40% silver in certain special issues from 1965 through 1970. The 1986 D was a regular circulation issue and does not contain silver. This makes it a more affordable option for collectors, though certain conditions and errors can greatly increase its value. The Denver Mint produced a total of over 15 million Kennedy half-dollars in 1986, making this coin relatively common in circulation during its release year. However, as time has passed, half-dollars have become less frequently used in everyday transactions, and fewer people see them in change. This decline in circulation means that coins like the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar are often saved by collectors or simply sit in storage, making higher-quality examples more desirable. When it comes to value, the 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar is usually worth its face value of 50 cents in circulated condition. However, uncirculated examples, especially those graded in mint state, can be worth significantly more. Coins that display strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks are highly prized by collectors. In particular, coins graded MS-65 or higher can command strong premiums. Proof-like examples, while not officially designated proofs, sometimes appear due to striking characteristics and are of interest to advanced collectors. Another factor that can influence the value of a 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar is the presence of errors and varieties. Some error coins may show off-center strikes, doubled dies, or misaligned dies. These rare errors can drastically increase the desirability and price of the coin. Collectors always examine Kennedy half-dollars closely under magnification to look for such unique features. The 1986 D. Kennedy half-dollar also represents a piece of American history in the mid-1980s. During this period, the U.S. Mint continued to produce half-dollars in significant numbers, even though their use in everyday commerce was declining. The coin serves as a snapshot of the time, reflecting both numismatic tradition and the enduring legacy of President John F. Kennedy. For collectors building a Kennedy half-dollar set, the 1986 D is a necessary addition. It is not the rarest issue by mintage, but in higher grades, it can be challenging to locate, especially with pristine surfaces. Many collectors aim to collect the entire series from 1964 to the present, making coins like the 1986 D important stepping stones in completing a full set. In summary, the 1986 D Kennedy half-dollar from the United States is more than just a piece of currency. It is part of a historic series that honors a beloved president, carries patriotic designs, and offers collectors an affordable yet rewarding coin to pursue. Whether you are new to coin collecting or an experienced numismatist, the 1986 D Kennedy half-dollar remains a coin worth studying and appreciating. Its design, history, and collecting appeal make it a standout in modern American coinage. Now we will explore the 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar coin from the United States is one of the most interesting pieces of American coinage that continues to attract collectors, enthusiasts, and investors alike. Minted at the Denver Mint, this half-dollar coin carries the D Mint mark and remains part of the iconic Kennedy half-dollar series that first began in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar is not only a piece of circulating currency, but also a coin rich with history, symbolism, and collector appeal. Today, I will take you on a detailed journey into this coin, exploring its design, history, minting details, eras, varieties, value, and why it still holds a special place in American numismatic culture. Let's begin with the design. On the obverse side of the 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar, you'll see the bust of John F. Kennedy facing left, designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The portrait of Kennedy is bold, detailed, and iconic, symbolizing strength, leadership, and the lasting memory of a president whose legacy shaped American history. Above the head is the word liberty, and below, you'll find the year 1989. The motto, "In God We Trust," is also prominently displayed. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Asparo, you'll notice the presidential seal, featuring the heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by 50 stars representing the 50 states of the nation. The words United States of America and half-dollar encircle the design. This detailed imagery emphasizes national pride and American strength. The 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar is made primarily of copper and nickel, also known as a clad composition. Since 1971, the Kennedy half-dollar has been struck in this copper-nickel clad format for circulation, replacing the earlier 40% silver versions that were minted between 1965 and 1970. The coin has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, a weight of 11.34 grams, and a reeded edge. The D Mint mark, which identifies its production at the Denver Mint, can be seen just below Kennedy's neck, close to the truncation of the bust. When it comes to mintage, the 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar had a high production run, with over 23 million coins minted. Because of this large quantity, the coin is relatively common in circulated grades, and most examples found in pocket change or bulk coin rolls are worth only face value, 50 cents. However, the real appeal for collectors lies in finding higher-grade examples, particularly those that remain in uncirculated condition. Coins graded MS-65 and above are more desirable, with their sharp strikes, brilliant luster, and lack of major contact marks. Now, let's explore some of the eras and varieties that can make the 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar more valuable. Collectors often seek coins with striking errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, clip planches, and other unusual minting mistakes. These era coins are much rarer than normal issues and can sell for significantly higher prices depending on the type and severity of the era. For example, a double die obverse with noticeable doubling on the date or lettering would attract strong demand. Similarly, coins struck on wrong planches or with missing elements can be worth hundreds of dollars or more. Another factor influencing value is the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor P1 all the way up to mint state 70, MS-70, which is a flawless coin. A circulated 1989 D Kennedy half-dollar is typically worth only face value, but an uncirculated one in MS-65 might be worth a few dollars, and coins graded higher, such as MS-67, could bring in much more. Professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC often increases the appeal and market value of high-grade examples. Proof versions of the 1989 Kennedy half dollar were also struck, but these were produced at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark, not a D. The Denver Mint issue is strictly a circulation strike, yet some collectors still prefer to build complete sets that include coins from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Kennedy half dollar series is a favorite among collectors because it spans decades of American history and represents an enduring tribute to a beloved president. Beyond value, the 1989 D. Kennedy half dollar carries historical and cultural significance. The Kennedy half dollar series itself was born out of national mourning after the assassination of John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The coin was introduced quickly in 1964 and was instantly popular with the public, many of whom hoarded it as a keepsake of the late president. Although later issues like the 1989 D are far more common, the symbolism of the design still resonates with collectors and everyday Americans alike. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small piece of history, a reminder of leadership, patriotism, and the legacy of the 35th President of the United States. For those interested in collecting the 1989 D. Kennedy half dollar, it is important to consider not only value but also eye appeal. Coins with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal marks are always more attractive and command higher premiums. Some collectors even look for coins with attractive toning, where natural color changes on the surface add beauty and uniqueness. Building a complete Kennedy half-dollar collection can be an enjoyable and rewarding experience, especially when adding different mint marks and years. Another interesting point about the 1989 D. Kennedy half-dollar is its place in circulation. By the late 1980s, the half-dollar coin was not widely used in daily transactions anymore. Many banks and stores saw little circulation demand for the denomination, which made finding pristine examples more challenging. Today, most half-dollars like the 1989 D are encountered in coin rolls, collector sets, or inherited collections. This limited circulation use makes them both familiar and uncommon at the same time. In terms of investment potential, while the 1989 D. Kennedy half-dollar is not considered a rare or high-value coin in most cases, it remains a steady and affordable entry point for new collectors. Coins with errors or exceptionally high grades can yield stronger returns. Collectors often keep them in protective holders or albums to preserve their condition, and some also enjoy collecting entire rolls or bags of half-dollars for sorting and searching. Searching through these coins can be exciting, as you never know when you might come across a gem-quality example or even a rare minting error. To wrap things up, the 1989 D. Kennedy half-dollar coin from the United States is a fascinating piece of numismatic history. With its iconic design honoring John F. Kennedy, its minting at the Denver Mint, its clad composition, and its place within one of America's most beloved coin series, this coin continues to draw interest from collectors of all levels. Whether you have one in your pocket, inherited a roll of them, or are actively building a Kennedy half-dollar collection, the 1989 D issue is a coin worth understanding and appreciating. Its story connects directly to American history, and its collectible appeal ensures it will always hold value beyond its 50-cent face.